have to get up early in the morning, so I have to make this kind of short. Oh yeah, I didn't want to put this in the title because I don't know what's going on. But I feel Epstein is a clone, at least at some point. I'm not sure. Oh, come on. I'm not sure when. I just feel he was a clone at some point. I mean, I worked with cloning, and if he was aware of it or not, he did harvesting and all that, but I feel like he was a clone at some point. And maybe died out as a clone. It's not clear, you have all these conspiracies and everything. However you want to look at it. I don't feel like he's alive here physically. I mean, if he is, it's a clone, or just his presence is still here. His presence has not left the building. As much as he's talked about, he might as well be here. So that's where it gets kind of tricky, tapping into that. Of course, we never know. He could be here physically. I don't think he's here. I think his job is done. But like I said, the impression's there. So why does he need to be alive? Why do you need that thing around anymore? It's mission accomplished. I feel like it was connected to Mossad. I felt there's a big... But I think there's more to it than that, but I don't know what. I feel definitely Mossad, but I think, I would say it kind of got out of their hands. Like it branched out into areas I didn't think it was going to go. And once the monster was out of the bag, there's no stopping it. So others took advantage of his position and, used him also. So it might not just be Mossad, it might be others, blackmailing him, and he blackmails others, and it just kind of blackmailing Mossad, and it's just a back and forth. Everyone's getting blackmailed by everybody. It's almost like a game of Clue. It's just a lot of backstabbing, as you can imagine. We'll never really know. Oh yeah, Trump. I feel like he has been cloned, but not necessarily in a negative way. Because you're in that position of power. You need some kind of protection. If you want to go to there is time travel and all that too, so they can, go back in time and make sure he's not deceased. So maybe that whole, we'll never, I don't know, it's multiple realities for everything. But when you look at, if you want to look at Trump in his position, I mean, he's a negotiator. To get in that position, you love him or hate him. I feel like he is there for the greater good. But you have to have like a kind of a screwed up track record to get to that position. Oh man, come on. Fucking cats. So you need some kind of, can't be crystal, it can't be clean, completely perfect. So, but like he was trying to run for president, I forgot when, during Reagan or something like that. And it was all shut down. I feel it was literally shut down. Either he wasn't ready for it, or just wasn't time, or I feel like it was stopped. And then he tried to do it again. I think during I think it was Obama's time, I think, or before that. I can't remember. But then once again, it was not time yet. Or he wasn't ready. Now, those aren't clear. I feel like the first time he wasn't ready. The second time, I don't know. Feels like he wasn't ready again. That's what I'm getting. And I guess he just had to be pushed to the world had to get to a certain level where he's just like, screw it, I'm going for it no matter what. Yeah, something, which makes sense. Because then you have to put up with all the attacks and everything. So he has to really want it to stay in. Because he did run before 2016. I think it was Romney was running, I think, if I remember right, or before, I forget. But I remember he kind of shut it down too. So anyway, but like back to I think the Reagan era, I'm pretty sure that's when he ran. I think so, but that was a lot more publicity and stuff. Yeah, but he was definitely thinking about it. Definitely knew he had it in him, but it was a little bit too early for it. And most of these guys are old anyway, except for Obama. Most of them are just, of course, Bush too, but a lot of them are just old guys. So anyway, yeah, this other version of Earth. Of course, this has been going on for thousands of years. We'll never really know the full stake of the aliens. Obviously, have been here forever. They've just been covering things up. So, again, I think mostly it's been a cover up. Of course, during the biblical times, there has been a lot of activity, at least recorded activity, and after that, it's been all pretty much quiet or erased, whatever it is. So, is this like a religious war currently? I mean, I guess as long as religion is around, it is. Like with Iran. So, are there cloning facilities in Iran? Well, if they are, they're in a different dimension. I don't feel like they're in our dimension. So, I mean, our dimension does affect other dimensions, for sure. Is the cloning war? I'm not sure about that. Well, it was at Ukraine, I believe that was mentioned. I haven't really dived into Ukraine. I feel like there is a lot of stuff going on in Ukraine that should not be being done. Should not be, as secret, government, human trafficking. I haven't looked at. You have to, when you do a search, you have to kind of do a conspiracy search. You can't just do like, is this real? Because they'll just say, fuck off. I mean, they'll tell you some stuff, but if you do the conspiracy theory, the way you look at it, that way you get, it's kind of like looking at the tabloids and getting kind of a different eye, because they're not going to tell you at mainstream. But Ukraine is definitely up to a lot of things that it shouldn't be doing. It's like a petri dish of German, World War II stuff. Yeah, cloning. It's in our dimension. It could be. I mean, some of it has to be in our reality at some level. And it's taken over by another reality. However, it's done. There's got to be some of it done here physically, but not to a higher sophistication. That's where it gets weird. That's where we can't get any answers. Like with the Biden clone and all that. I imagine they have some in our dimension that are working properly. Yeah, it's weird. How does that work exactly? It's like a parallel reality that's here, and it brings it in and kind of still keeps it all sealed off to somehow. I don't know. I mean, he's here. Yeah, Biden's number one on the conspiracy list, at least for politicians. It's number fucking one. I didn't look at celebrity. I mean, technically politicians are celebrities, but Biden is a clear number one. And that is part of people in their awakening. And it's funny, because I got that message on him years ago. And it just came out of nowhere. I wasn't looking for it and wasn't thinking about it. It just came through naturally. It was like he got switched out at night. Like if he was sleeping, they would like open up a dimension or something, go in and grab him and switch him out. We'll never know. Of course, the aliens can do all kinds of stuff here too. So they can also go back in time and make sure we erase, or just erase our minds or alter reality, alter our matrix. So it might be a glitch, but they can still alter it. You could say that this is where you get into weird territory. That's why you gotta be careful with this stuff. And like I said, aerospace companies, you can look into that if you're interested. Be careful though. Yeah, be careful what people want to dive into this stuff. You gotta really watch your back, because this stuff can kill you. Because you get entities around you that want to drive you insane. or they can physically do something. They can, if you cross a line, make you physically ill, and get like some kind of, seriously. If people are playing around with this stuff, like like a loaded gun, and you think it's all fun and games, it's like it depends on how close you get, and you can do that. Energetically, they can't fuck with you because you cross a line. They can kill you too if you cross a line. So, well, they make you want to die, let's put it that way. It depends, because you cross a boundary. And all these idiots online are doing SSV, blah, blah. A lot of it's safe. But these podcasters are so fucking stupid. They don't care. They're imbeciles anyway. They're morons anyway. I mean, they prove how stupid they are. So these are the major ones. They really show how dumb everybody. It just shows that ignorance is, alive and well, and you become a UFO conspiracy, whatever that is, and just be a big freaking joke. But everyone loves it because they're just as dumb as the people. Well, the ones doing it are dumber, that's for sure. But it's the aerospace company stuff. I kind of went off on a tangent there, or something else I was hitting at. But yeah, there's parallel Earths that are connecting us and messing around with us with dimension, and just gotta be careful what you tap in. Yeah, because people tap into the Men in Black stuff and get zapped. They wake up with a big, bruise on themselves, because some can go beyond certain barriers, and the Men in Black say you're not supposed to be here. It was on an astral level and zap your ass. Doesn't mean they kill you, but they can make you sick and so on. So just trying to get your attention. It's like you should not be here. It's like going into a government facility, but you're doing it astrally. This is why you gotta be careful of this stuff. People want secret information. It's like, just be aware, if your head pops off, you go completely insane. I have to put disclaimers out here. I'm doing this shit. I wasn't even going somewhere. I completely freaking forgot where I was going. But it had to be said. I thought I'm trying to cover I'm getting blocked, and just certain things need to be said. I said I forgot where I was heading. I knew I was doing that too, but anyway, it had to be done. Hopefully I remember what it was later, at least today or later on. It has to do with the government stuff, switching people out. Yeah, Area 50, well, even Area 51, I feel like they alter the physicality of that place. Like some people feel S4 is there, but then you look at it physically, it's not there. There's some alterations going on. So there's definitely something going on there. How popular, who knows? Not gonna let you tap into it anyway. Like, stay the fuck out of this place. And you gotta be, and another, what was the other one, the weird one, it's been such a long time. Oh no, I can't remember it. Oh, it's the other one it's not Los Alamos. It's it tells you how long it's been since I've done this stuff. I forget what it was, but the facility, genetic engineering facilities underground, I forget, by New Mexico. That's like there's nothing there physically. I can't remember. God, it's been forever. How can I forget that too? Anyway, they go there. There's nothing there, just fields. But underground, there's a lot of conspiracies, government facilities, and all that. I feel like a lot of those are in the fourth dimension, or in a dimension we're not allowed to see. Like a seal. That's where all the cloning is done too. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's not like you can go there anyway. Especially just not mess with you. I can't think of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Brain's not remembering. Yeah, it's just been a while since I've tapped into this stuff. It's not something that's like ingrained into my memory anymore. I just stopped. I mean, I've been talking about this stuff for years. Area 51's the easy one to remember, but the other one, what's the name of it? It doesn't matter. I imagine people find it in the comments, but either way, yeah, there's definitely cloning facilities underground for sure, but well, maybe another reality. You say you start to go digging there, probably won't find it. Who knows? It's well protected. You'll never know. And there's also underwater ones and so on, of course. Yeah, I forgot where I was heading it. Obviously, there's shadow governments built into FBI. Of course, they're so shadowy. They're a secret government within a secret government, and the CIA and so on. And it goes on beyond that, of course, Mossad. Yeah, and there is like here in the physical, even in those, the lower levels, they like living on a different reality. They live in our reality, but, they live in their own bubble, Even like celebrities do that too. They hear, but they live in a, different reality. They live in our reality, but they're living totally different. So, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond, the shadow government, obviously different layers that appoint those in the Pentagon and, and the staff and the presidential. I think it's still lower level. When you get high level, those are the ones that kind of build the CIA and stuff like that. Like they're like, you don't know who they are. That's where it gets kind of like where you don't want to know their names. It's better off you don't know anything. Not that I'm digging, I'm just saying. Same thing with the FBI. There's shadow families that are definitely here physically. They just don't have access to Facebook, founder and all that. They have access to all the parties. They probably go to people have met them, I believe. Sort of. But they're, high elite that we probably never heard of. I'm not sure if I want to hear about them or there's obviously a public version and there's a shadowy version, like completely shadowy. You don't know who the fuck these people are. But even those that are in the shadow groups, I feel like they are part of the social elite. Some of them are, at least. Go to the parties, go to this and that, benefits, donations, UN, and they're not talked about, and I would imagine their names kept out of the press and everything. But it doesn't mean like there's some like presence that everyone's afraid of them. I think they're just regular people from what I'm gathering. Yeah, they don't want to put on a persona like they're, a high elite menace. You have George Soros for that. That's the boogeyman. Appointed. That's the go-to bad guy. And the rest of them are Chinese, like, don't pay attention to us. Even if they are involved somehow, like with BlackRock and all those investment companies, which people will never know about, not that you need to know. Yeah, that's where all the elites put their money in or invest in, stuff, like I said, names you don't want to know. So, there's a certain area that just, I've been to, I don't want to mention this city right now because I don't feel like giving it any attention. I haven't been in New York City, but somewhere like New York City would have. I haven't been there, but imagine there are wealthy residential areas that you can't access, that you don't want to access, where you feel like, wow, this is where the power elite are, and it's not good. Like mansions and shit and all that, because I've been to a city where I saw some of that. I saw like a weird statue out front. It's like, okay, that's evil. I just drove by it. It's like I didn't stop by and take a look. It's like, I don't think I want to do that. I imagine New York has quite a bit of those. And these are accessible, and that's what you can access. I would assume they got them. I'll never assume anything, but I'm assuming. There is a lower level wealthy elite, of course you have in Washington and so on. Wealthy homes, gated communities sort of. Some are gated, some are not. And you just get this vibe like, shit, there's evil there. So, Yeah, some of it's old money. Yeah, just but they're part of society and so on, and they're all friendly as hell, but wealthy as shit and just creepy as a motherfucker. So I haven't met them physically, but my eyes shift and all that crap. So yeah, the Epstein stuff. I imagine they're well aware of it. Well, I feel like the Epstein stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of that's just smoke and mirrors, man. It's just a deterrent from what else is going on, wherever that is. It's working, It just is smoke and mirrors. It feels like covering up whatever the hell is going on behind the scenes. So yeah. So when you're tapping into this stuff, you just gotta be because you can get really scared. I believe you can. If you get too deep, if you dive too deep, I mean, you can dive to a certain level, but after a while, it's like, step the fuck back. It's not worth it. It's just, because that doesn't mean they'll kill you, but they'll fuck you up. So, energetically, you might feel like you see the devil, and it's not something that you want to play around with. And usually, these are the wealthy elite. I think it's beyond a Rockefeller. These aren't names that anybody knows about. So, but the aerospace companies, that's what I mean. You gotta be careful. You can find his black site or black. I mean, you can find the companies out there probably, but there's nothing on them. A lot of them are in California. I believe they're all over the place. I feel like some are in California. They're doing AI stuff or whatever. You never heard of them ever. They do work with Lockheed Martin and stuff like that. That's part of the elite. They get bought out and they disappear. Once again, you gotta be careful. Yeah, because some of these companies, I remember it's happening years ago. I think I had somebody ask me questions. I think somebody worked for one of them. It's kind of like some of these technology, aerospace companies are kind of shady. I feel like there's a public version, and then there's another version that works with satellites and shit. It's like you just gotta be fucking careful. It's like it feels very alien and very secretive, and it feels just stay out of it. That's in California, but I imagine there's other places too. So that's your secret space program, at least on to some level. And they can't hide everything. You have to have some, Raytheon has to have Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. Raytheon does a lot of shady stuff. I even have because I have a family member that hears voices. I mentioned this a long time ago. Hears voices, and we went to one of the. She at one point. She wanted to go see the place where the voices are coming from. It was a Raytheon facility that was closed, actually. I think they finally removed it. There was another company there before that. And it did satellite stuff. She can hear other. Her schizophrenia, but she can hear another reality. Like she felt these are real people, and they kept, giving her pain and all that. So this is a family member. Lovely. Without going into details. But she said they sounded just like people that are listening to her, running tests and stuff like that in another dimension. So who's to say it's not real? It's karma. It also could be something I haven't really dived into here and there. I never really it's karmic. It was also kind of giving me an eye into that world because I grew up around it. Didn't know about it till later. So I got an eye of, you can see that secret realm, basically. The way she was talking, and I can kind of visualize, and they're terrible people too. They're just pieces of shit. But they're like, from what I tap into, they're like, you're walking around some kind of office facility in another dimension. And they're just scumbags. So they go to work, they laser people in their brains and mess with them, and wherever that is, and then they go home. But they're still around monitoring, so. Not to get anyone paranoid about that, just let it be. Just live your life, don't get too paranoid. It's not Pizzagate. Because they can only do so much. But it's also, He said it's part of the Archon energies. Yeah. Kind of gives you an idea what we're up against. So, of course, some people have some idea, but schizophrenia is another window into that realm. And now, why some of these people have schizophrenia to see that? Some of it's, my family member, I believe, was a dark one. It still kind of is. It's a karmic debt, but also like a disclosure. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. But yeah, schizophrenia is another thing I'm looking at. Yeah, I don't think there's probably a lot out there probably about, schizophrenia and talking about shadow governments. There might be. But I know some people, and when I started doing this, they had family members or somebody. And once again, the one thing hearing voices and demonic energy, but this is like people. Like you feel like people in another dimension in an office fucking with people. It's like, that's a different, and you say, oh, like my uncle said, oh, it's just imagination. I was like, I'm not sure about that. Well, that guy's a piece of shit. It's like, yeah, it's like the normal person trying to downplay is like, I don't know about that. No, it's like a brain is tuned into another reality, for better or for worse. Yeah, so when disclosure and get zapped, yeah, it's kind of scary. So, yeah, it's not scary, but, we have to live with that. But that's a karmic thing, so. And that's why we incarnate with people that we incarnate to get some insights who we're connecting, who we're battling against, and so on. It's just, yeah. That's where that schizophrenia realm where we have these shadow elites, working in an office. That sounds like something where they have like a cloning facility in that reality somewhere. So, easily. Like they can do cruel things and not think anything of it. That's their job, is being pieces of shit. They don't care. And you see society here is so plugged in. It was hard because they don't see them. And it's so fucked up. And some people in their intuition all that pick up on those realities. Yeah, it's not what's cracked up to be. Yeah, it's the real world. See, that's the thing about the SSP stuff. You got the kid version, but some of these guys are messing with a loaded gun. They have no idea what they're fucking doing. And making it entertainment, and it's kind of gross because some people we have podcasters that are abusing their power because they're pieces of shit. Well, they're irresponsible trash, basically. And you have regular people that get pulled into this stuff, and then they're starting to tap into things they shouldn't be tapping into, and the reality, whatever, and it's like cocaine for the brain, and they get fucked up. They don't know what they're doing. Now, those other people that are more mature with their abilities, but the other people are just so bored of themselves. They need something to do, and then they get their minds kind of screwed up where it doesn't belong. So. This is why I don't talk about this shit very often, because it's like, but you gotta bring it up every once in a while, right? So, but yeah, there's a lot of idiocy out there. There's a lot of just like I say, they get a lot of attention, and a lot of these spiritual people are just horrible, just piles of garbage, basically. Seriously, because they're doing things they should not be doing, and they're just bringing up stuff that they don't. It's like being a cocaine salesman or something. It's like being a drug dealer. And they don't care as long as they're making money and doing well. They don't care about how other people are affected by it. And they say, oh, I'm going to be neutral about it and this, and they're just yeah. It's like information drug dealers. So. And they don't care about anything. They're just ignorant, and it's like a drug dealer plays stupid. And there's no laws against this yet, or prevention. Laws meaning I know it sounds weird saying that, but it's like preventing people from going to the astral realms where they don't belong. You know what I mean? It's weird saying that, but it's like, everyone should be free to do whatever, but I don't know, man. You know, we have cops watching for drunks and all that, right? And drug, you know, usually they show up after you've overdosed and all that or whatever. And yeah, that's what the MIB can only do so much. But, you know, it's kind of like, you know, we become more advanced species once we're growing out of the ape reality. I mean, a good portion of society is still very much an ape society, if you haven't noticed. You have apes and you got human. And of course you can go above that, you know, evolution-wise. A lot of people are doing this stuff that are beyond that, but your average person is very much a human ape. Fucking stupid. But then you have these information drug dealers that are just profiting off of this, screwing people's lives. I ain't caring. So it's just, there's no awareness of it. I can give you names, but I already have. It's not doing anything. So anyway, is this something that takes thousands of years for people to figure out? Anyway, I'll let it go. Okay, that's all I got. All right, blessings.